back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Now, one of the things that I have been missing and have been talking to many of you guys about is getting back into gardening. Well, now that I'm at a place that has a backyard and a deck, and I'm actually able to do some gardening, we can have a quick garden tour. This is the first year of us being at this rental property, as those of you who may have seen our my update video back in February or March. And so this is our first year here, and so a lot of the things that you're going to see here are things that cannot stay, are temporary structures. So with that, let's do our May garden tour. So this is the first time that I have ever grown a strawberry plant that is in a container. Back at my old place, I used to grow the strawberry plants actually in the ground. I had a little strawberry patch, and so this is my first time actually doing it in a pot. And so we're going to see how this goes. I don't see any flowers on here yet, so let's see. This is the end of May, so we'll see how that goes. This is our lovely balcony, and so we'll get to all those flowers up there. In the meantime, what I have done here is I've made garden beds in this area here. So at one point this was all grass, and this was very difficult to take our lawnmower through here. And as you can see, they have these beautiful trees that are very, very tall and are very, very difficult to get through and get under, as you can see here. And so I decided to put cardboard boxes down to suppress the weeds, and then put about 2 or 3 inches of soil, topsoil on top, and then put on top of that some mulch. And because we're only here transiently, I can't really put perennials, because that would be a lot of money to put out, and to be honest, since we won't be here necessarily very long, there's no point in investing a huge sum of money. And so what we've done instead, and I've decided to do, is plant summer bulbs. So for example, what you have here are the glads. So I put a bunch of gladioles. The issue is that you can see where some of the squirrels, and we have a groundhog and a possum and skunks have been digging. A good example is over here. But I have put some cayenne pepper down in hopes to kind of disincentivize them from eating it. I've also planted in some dahlias, some beautiful different types of dahlias. I've got one there. There was one somewhere in this vicinity here. There's one here that's growing nicely. I also put an abundance of lilies, and there's a few that are coming up. Some were eaten, so there's one here, and there's another one over here that's starting to poke its head out. But in and amongst here, in the gaps, I have put a bunch of zinnia seeds. So we'll see what pops up, and hopefully we get lots of profuse blooms in here full of zinnia. Up here on the deck, we have some beautiful containers. I've spent quite a bit of money on getting beautiful flowers up here to attract all kinds of pollinators and add lots of nice color. This is going to be filled with herbs. I haven't quite got to there yet. It's only the beginning of May. We're a little bit behind here in terms of actually getting things started for the growing season, partly because we had a lot of sort of snow and really, really cold springs that made it very, very difficult to grow plants early. But in here we have our spinach. So these are spinach that are growing nicely. I've got some pea plants that are growing up decently well. We had a trellis up in here, but the squirrels certainly like to pull that out. I've got a nice beautiful basket here. Some of this has got certain vegetables, like my tomatoes are growing in here, and I've got pumpkins in here. Beautiful different types of garden growing here. Up over here on the table, these here are our tomatoes from space. So it was a bit of a project that was done where half of the tomato seeds we don't know which half, but half the tomato seeds were taken up to the International Space Station, and the other half were here on Earth as controls. And there was a study that was being done to determine the impacts of space on germination rates. And over here you can see my kids' stuff and their play pens and a pool. We have a beautiful, beautiful, what is this, a lilac tree. Absolutely beautiful. And it has profuse blooms. A little bit too big, I think. But overall not too bad, not too bad. And again, we got some beautiful flowers. And as I said, I put mulch and a lot more soil under here to make a little bit more enrichment in the soil. I've decided that, see, in this area here, I'm just going to put some soil and finish it this weekend by putting soil and more mulch in here. I might not put too many plants in there, partly because not a lot of sun gets in there, and there seems to be a lot of animal activity in this area here, so I might not do that. In this beautiful garden bed here with my Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, again, I've repeated that theme of putting peacock orchids. So all of these are peacock orchids in here. So we should get some really, really nice, they're a type of gladiolus. So we get some really, really nice color here. And then of course there are some dahlias that are popping up there in the back. And there's another one over here. But in and amongst here as well, and I think there's a dahlia right there, the stem of one. But in and amongst here as well, I also put some zinnia seeds, so we'll see what pops up. This plant here is a African violet, and my wife wanted to have one of them out here, so we put one out and we'll see what happens here. Over here in this garden bed is my wife's sunflower bed. She's always wanted a sunflower bed, and so I came out here 3 weeks ago, and it took them quite some time to germinate, but I put in a bunch of different types of sunflower seeds, 14 different species, and they took some time to get up here and germinate. So some of them are the giant Russians back here, where I've mounted them up so that they can hopefully do a little bit better there. We've got some miniature ones here. We got the ones in the middle here, I believe are the burgundy and brown ones, which would be quite nice. And then I put in amongst here to put some color for now, as well as to deter some of the little creatures and critters that were digging up in here and destroying all the hard work I had done to try to deter them. But I also have a couple of dahlias in here as well. But so this is this sort of garden plan we have now, and I'm going to be filling all of this in with mulch and dirt. I'm not going to put any flowers in this part of the garden. Might put a couple pots, but that's about it. And yeah, so this is our backyard and the types of plants we're going to get here. So that is my May garden tour part 1 in the backyard, and we'll maybe do part 2 in the front yard. And then I've been looking forward to this and getting back into gardening and back into showing everybody and giving updates and some advice. So yeah, guys, with that, thank you so much for watching, and I will speak with you all soon. Okay, bye-bye for now.